Hey y'all, KT here, and today we're doing a very neutral glam. The thing about this is neutral because the colors are neutral. I also didn't do my usual base, so I'm going to be showing y'all a different way that I do base sometimes. You want to make sure that you start off by moisturizing your face. Always moisturize your face. And I think y'all will be pleased to know that I did do the brows on camera. Round of applause for me. I am going to post the brow video separately as well, so that you'll always have access to it and you won't have to come to the full tutorial to watch the brow video. Once you have moisturized and added toner, you want to go ahead and start prepping the eyebrows. So I'm running translucent powder through the brows so that they don't get oily throughout the day, and so that it is much easier for my eyebrow pencil to... You ever try to do your brows and like the eyebrow pencil just keeps slipping and it's not really showing the product? That's what happens sometimes when your face is too oily brow area. So taking some translucent powder or even pressed powder and just kind of running it through the brows kind of helps take away that oil, so that once you start trying to create your brow, you can actually draw and it'll show up and it won't be moving all crazy. So I always start with doing a line at the bottom. Now I want y'all to take note that I am not pressing hard on this pencil. Notice how my hand is like lightly holding the pencil, and then you want to go in the front and you want to make strokes going upward. As you go toward the tail, you want to make the strokes going out and down. Does that make sense? Once you've basically outlined it and gave it strokes, you want to make sure that you brush it with the spoolie. Brush it up, out, and down. Brush it in the direction that the eyebrow goes. It helps move the product around so it's not looking like a marker. So now let's do the other eye. We're going to do our light line at the bottom, shaping the brow. Take it all the way through line, then take our strokes up, take them out, and then take them down. And then you can start creating that arch of the brow. And just lightly keep creating strokes. The hair-like strokes give the eyebrows a realistic look. If you feel like one part is getting too dark or it's not doing how you want it to do, brush it. Use your spoolie and brush the brow in the direction that it naturally flows. Eyebrows should follow your bone, not your habit. So, of course, I'm going to take my lightest concealer that I'm going to use on her face, and I'm going to conceal the brow bone with it, but I'm going to use it in just the arched area. I guess I'll let y'all kind of just watch because it's not too much explaining I can do. I do show y'all, I think right here, I'm going to show y'all the brush because I want y'all to see just how much product is on the brush. Not a lot, but the majority of the product is on the tip of my brush so that line can be very clean and sharp. And see how I'm taking my time? Take your time. The more product, the better and sharper that eyebrow carve is going to be. If you use a little bit of product and you try to carve out that eyebrow, it's going to look soft and it's going to look blurred. You want to put some product kind of thick on the end. Not too much. See on my glove where it's like spread it out. You want to spread it out, put it back on the brush, spread it back out, put it back on the brush. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want a good consistency, but you do want some product so that you can actually carve it out precisely. Remember, precision is the prettiest part. I'm going to use a foundation shade to blend the front of the brows. This is going to help with contrast and shadow as we move forward. And the same thing when you're using the foundation, you want to make sure that you're being very precise, that brush is being very particular so that you have a sharp brow. You don't want a brow that's looking out of shape, out of whack, and like you didn't had it for 5 days. You want to make it very clean, very sharp, very precise. Now, when it comes to carving out the top of your brows, use nothing but the foundation shade. And it does best, honestly, if you just take one stroke down by itself just to make sure that it's a very consistent and clean line. And you get a beautiful eyebrow. And then you could take you a little blending fluffy brush and just kind of blend out the foundation and concealer around the brows so that later you don't have any cast anywhere. Once I'm done with the brows, that's when I go back in with the rest of my priming. And this time I'm going in with the e.l.f. Grip Primer. And then I'm going to set the face with the setting powder just to make sure that the oils are not peeping through my makeup. I don't know who 2-year-old baby is in my house, but she keeps jumping in all the clips. So, you know, we're going to pretend she's not back there. Make sure that you are working this translucent powder actually into the skin. I'm pressing and tapping and doing a swipe motion all at the same time because I really want this product to get into the skin so that the oils do not mess up the makeup. You want to make sure that it's in a T-zone or any place that you get really oily at. Down the nose, T-zone, chin if you need to. I mean, the eyes, you name it. Just mattify the face up so that your foundation can lay beautifully. Now we're going to prep for our eyeshadow. I'm using the same concealer color that I originally used for her eyebrow arch. So we're going to go into that color and we're going to evenly place it on both lids and blend it out. Very consistent, very solid. I wanted to show y'all my palette and the million different browns that I'm using because I know in one of the other videos I was like, by 4 different browns. So let me show y'all the browns. So that's the first brown that we're going to use, and we're going to use that as our transition color. Remember, placement is very important, so watch exactly where I'm placing this eyeshadow and how I'm placing it. I'm not going all over the lid with it. I'm keeping it in a certain spot and I'm blending there only before I move it around a little bit more to blend. I know that I wanted to elongate her eyes, but I didn't necessarily want a wing liner. So what I'm going to do is start creating a shadow for my wing smoky liner. And with this, I'm basically just building the smoke. So I'm going to start off with a dark brown, and then I'm just going to go darker and darker. But the darker I get, the smaller the line will get. And you'll see as the video continues to go. Because eventually I'm going to use black, and I'm going to make sure that that line is very thin, but it's giving a wing direction, like a cat eye direction. Oh, y'all do not be judging my eyeshadow palettes, okay? I be working. I make moves in silence. Yeah, and I'm fine with it. Okay, but this is where I take the black and I'm just going to kind of lightly create my wing. We're going to worry about the sharpness later. I'm creating direction right now, shadow and dimension. And then I'm going to go with the brown that we used earlier and just kind of blend out the black so that it's still giving ombre, you know, like we still want it to have a nice blend. Now we're going to take our concealer and we are going to clean up those wings. This is the prettiest part to me. I think that once you do eyeshadow like this and then you run that concealer on the side of that eye and you get that little cut like that, that crease like that. Oh, honey, I live. I think this is so cute. So we're just going to keep it going. I am not applying foundation. I'm going to go ahead with my concealer under the eyes and we're going to apply So once you've blended out your concealer, we're going to jump right into the contour. We're going to cream contour, and I'm just using a darker foundation color. And I really feel like this helps keeps the color like of your skin. Like this helps keep the bronzy parts bronze without making the face too bright at first. Does that make sense? Like sometimes my words be all over the place. But like, you know, at first it's like foundation, then concealer. And I feel like that brightens the face so much that when you try to go in with some contour, it just don't be enough. So I feel like this method helps the contour pop a little bit more for that super rich brown bronzy look. Because our concealer was sitting there, it probably isn't going to move how I need it to. So I'm taking just a little bit of fresh concealer and I'm blending it right under the eyes into those creases. And just to get some insight on what I'm actually doing, so I'm swiping the concealer into the creases and then I'm pressing and melting the concealer onto the creases. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to mix the concealer and the foundation for some coverage on the forehead. And then I'm going to take more foundation and I'm going to give coverage on the chin and anywhere else that doesn't have any product. Right here, you'll see me carve out the contour with foundation. Now I'm taking a foundation brush and I'm finna blend everything together very seamlessly. Now, if you sick of the blush trend but you do want to wear blush, this is the correct placement for blush. Your blush should blend between your contour and your highlight. Not too high, not too low, but right in the center of the cheeks. Once everything is blended out, I went ahead and I sprayed it with some setting spray. And this is going to ensure it lasts a little bit longer than usual. And just it kind of melts it into the skin. So it's giving very skin-like before we add our powders. Now I'm going to take my contour brush and I'm just kind of reinforcing the contour, just making sure, that everything is placed exactly where I want it to be and the pigment is how I want it to be. And when we contour our nose, we're going to keep our darkest shade high on the nose and lightly blend it down. You want to keep it high and you want to blend it into the eyebrow and eyeshadow. Remember that light pulls forward and shadow pulls back. Once I'm in love with the coverage and it is solid, I'm going to go ahead and start setting it with the powder, with my translucent powder. And I am currently using the One Size translucent powder. And I am currently obsessed with it. I love this powder a lot. It just gives a very, very blurred effect. Like, the girls be giving filter with this powder. And make sure you're pressing it into the skin. Remember, you want this powder to melt. You don't want to blend until it's gone. You just want to blend until it disappears. The powder is making sure that nothing moves, that everything is kind of set in place. Now remember, you want to set everywhere that you put a cream with a powder. Gonna go with our contour powder, and now we're just gonna warm up the face and make sure that the contour is set so that it doesn't move, and it just gives even more pigment and more coverage, more intention. So I'm just adding a deeper tone powder for my contour here, just to give it a little bit depth and a little more color. You see it's kind of reddish. So when I add this blush that I'm going to add, it's going to blend very, very beautifully. It's very complimentary to the contour. Then I'm going to add a lighter pink on top of it to give it an even more beautiful blend. As y'all know, makeup is built in layers, so you want to make sure that you're giving contrast, shadows, depth, highlight. You know, you want to build your makeup in layers. Not a lot of makeup, but just in layers, so that it is all blending beautifully and that your face is giving what it's supposed to have gave. And I'm always going to go back over something. I'm always going to keep on blending, keep on blending, and keep on blending. I really was supposed to say something else, but blending was the only thing that could come to mind. I'm going to go back in with my eyeshadows. Y'all know placement decides, so I got to make sure that everything is placed where it's supposed to be and looking how I want it to look. I'm going to add a dark brown eyeshadow under her eyes before I add black eyeliner. The lip liner is most definitely, most likely trendsetter. And then we can start our finishing touches. Y'all know, go ahead and grab that foundation brush. Don't add nothing on it. Just use it to blend. Make sure that all the powders are blended in. You don't want any white cast. I love doing this little corner cat wing eye look. It is just so cute. But it's not always easy. But I thought for this look, it was going to eat down. Because, baby, the eyes are giving. These lashes, honestly, were so cute with the look. These were her lashes. She came with them, and then I just kind of cut them down a little bit. But they really complemented the look so well. So we added our highlight to our nose because, you know, I love a highlighter on the nose. And I miss doing the highlighter right there on the Cupid's bow. Is that our Cupid's bow? I love doing the highlighter right there. I need to bring that back. So this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure y'all subscribing to my channel and that y'all go and y'all liking these videos so that I can keep giving y'all more and better things. And let me know what y'all want to see. Remember, there are a million ways to do makeup. I'm just showing y'all mine. Bye, KT.